Moo! My God, that music is loud. Woke me up and I needed it. I am jet lagged because, oh my God, I just left London. I was there for a week. It was heaven. I went to many parties. I quaffed lots of champagne and did many bumps of caviar, only caviar. I am not that girl. And I learned a lot about what is actually going on. And welcome to another episode of the Days of Our Montecito Lives. These two fools, it's like they just never learn. God bless them. You know, it is such a soap opera. And like a good soap opera, plots can change on a whim, whatnot, but the direct line is still there. And the direct line is what Harry and Meghan want, and the depths of despair they will sink to try and get it. So while I was there, this was really fascinating. I actually met with some people who have been very good sources on Invictus. And before we do that, let me just give you the rundown because we got a lot to get through today. All right. We've got Invictus is now Harry and Meghan. They are going to be using it for reputational whitewash. However, this is where it gets really dodgy, you guys. We're going to go again into the finances, again into what they are doing or trying to do. And oh boy, I did hear from someone that this is a make or break trip for Harry and Invictus. And by that, I mean, he's got a lot of money to raise. And you know, who doesn't like hysterical, weird, back and forth flip-flopping behavior? Big corporations. They also don't like being tied to somebody with not just hysterical behavior, but with plummeting rates of popularity, right? We all know it. It's people call it, you've been Markled. I'm not so sure about that. I'm just going to say the Sussexed. You've been Sussexed. You know, I don't like to, at this point, I don't like to just whip out one person when they're both acting like 2-year-old tantrum throwing children. All right. My God, they've really lost the plot. So anyway, they really have a lot to do this week. We will get into that. However, they've also done some insanely duplicitous behavior, which is, you know, causing havoc, not just with his family, but with their staff. You know, because it's not just their reputations they're burning down, it's everyone around them. Anyone who stands up for them gets it right in the ear. You know what I mean? It's insane. So I also have some good information on what's happening with Archie and Lily and the Daily Mail court case that's going to be decided on Tuesday. And who's going to foot the bill? And also, a long-standing friendship that may or may not be in tatters. So let's do this, shall we? Because I just want to say there were a lot of people who are like, oh my God, look, they said they're not coming. You were fooled. Oh, please calm down, everyone. All right, first of all, again, this is a soap opera. And let's look at the major storylines. The major storylines is they have to come 100%. Their reputations are in tatters. Their popularity is in the toilet. The only way they can salvage anything is through charity. And by that, I mean Invictus, which is insane because Invictus has now become only about Harry and now Meghan, not about any actual veteran or somebody who might actually need their help. It is so cynical. It's the height of cynicism to use veterans, to use something that no one can say nay about, because we all love and support veterans, don't we? I sure as hell do. And So they are now saying, well, if you attack Invictus, you're attacking veterans, not us. Look at them. It's all baloney. They are literally using veterans to burnish their reputation. And then, yeah, we're going to get into this whole horrificness that Tom Sykes pointed out. And God bless Tom. Y'all know I love him. Lobsters. But it's absolutely almost criminal to point out that, well, there could be a terrorist attack on an event that you organized for veterans, most of whom are suffering from PTSD. Why the hell would any veteran want to show up then? You tell me, because it is a very good question. Whoops, so sorry. Sorry guys, it's my dad. I have to call him back. I love him so much. He always calls at the weirdest times though. Yep, there we go. He's going to try 900 times, so we're going to have to just get used to it. Anywho, the point is, I've been told Meghan had plans to show up with Harry at all events, specifically because she needs her own reputation burnished very badly. Nothing is working. She needs to be seen as charitable. She needs to be seen as somebody who, just kind of is doing good work, And it's not happening. It's not happening for her. Nothing is happening for her. Invictus is their last final appeal. And God bless them. I think there's some weird noise going on. I think it's because Daddy tried to call me, guys. Hold on one moment. Let me just check. Anywho, things can't always go well, can they? I mean, oh, that's Daddy. Yeah, that's why. That's why it got weird. I had actually had Dad on the phone while I was talking to you guys. Again, here we go. Let's just be real here. I don't know how to work any of this. Anyway, getting back into it. Sorry about that, y'all. We've got ye old Megs and Harry. Meghan is now, the plan was for her to show up to everything at Invictus, which was unfortunate because Harry, this is make or break. And I met with somebody from in the charity world, wink, Invictus in London, and they were telling me, they came down and they were telling me several things. Number one, there is a chance that the games will be postponed. If they are postponed, the games will be canceled. If they are canceled, it is over. Now, the reason why they may or may not be postponed, we will find out in 2 weeks, okay? Because he is here to meet up with corporate leaders, not here. He is in London and England to meet up with corporate leaders and basically beg for cash. Things that he has already said he hates doing. We heard about that during the Daily Mail trial when he sent texts to Charlotte G. String Griffiths and said, oh, I hate it. I hate pressing the flesh. Oh, begging for money. But that's all he does now is beg for money. You and I both know this. And it's kind of great because now he sees what everyone who actually works at a charity has to do 24/7. And even though we know he's a little work shy, he don't like it. That's okay. The problem is he needs to raise 25 million pounds in the next 2 weeks. And here's the problem. No corporation wants to be saddled with him. They don't want to, just kind of be Sussexed. And they don't want their board members coming after them because, again, the British government has given 29 million pounds. The deal is you match or exceed through corporate or private donations. They only have 4 million. Now, this was done over the last year before both Harry and Meghan kind of went off the deep end, right? So they're coming over. He's going to beg. Now, 25 million, I don't know if you know this. It's pretty damn hard to raise. It's also pretty hard to raise in an atmosphere like England, where once again, they're getting another prime minister, where once again, a bunch of people are out of jobs. And by that, I mean people like Yvette Cooper, Shabana Mahmood, his backers are going to be out of jobs. And people are already furious, really mad about the $29 million of taxpayer money that are given to the Invictus Games, where only around 500 people are expected to compete. It's a lot of money. It's ridiculous. Okay. We could do it for, I don't know, 2 million, which is what the Department of Defense Warrior Games does. He has to go. And the other problem is, again, it's like Sophie Chandaka said was sent to Bali when she had to have that rough discussion with Harry. Hey, people really don't like Meghan. And he was like, that's ridiculous. And then she said, your brand is suffering. That's ridiculous. She's ridiculous. She must be fired. And then, of course, he tried to fire her. He couldn't. He left. She's now, well, not she, Sentabali is now suing for defamation. But the problem is, Meghan is so disliked in England. She's even more disliked in England than perhaps, that's my daddy again. Sorry, guys. Yeah, daddy's not going to stop. He's like that. Anyway, the point is, he cannot, I lost my train of thought, poor daddy. Anyway, the point is, it ain't happening. They are not liked, and they have a big problem. Their big problem is people like Melanie Poole quitting the OBE. She was brought on to see the games through. She left after only a series of months. And right now they are understaffed. They are ill-equipped. And frankly, if they don't raise the money, there is a very good chance that there's a very good chance that the games will be postponed. So, and if they are postponed, they will be canceled. One moment. One moment. Of course, this happened. Okay, can you guys hear me now? I am talking. Can you hear me? I don't know. Off now, no sound. Okay, hold on. God damn, this whole setup. One moment. We're going to try again with the mic. One moment. One moment. I'm so sorry. It's ridiculous. I know. I need that to quit. Hold on. One moment. Quit. Yes. Quit. FaceTime. Quit. Nope. All right. Fuck it. Okay. Now. All right. Nope. Still not fucking happening. One moment. Default. All right. Can you hear me now? Yes? Hear you? Yay! 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 I got it back. So sorry. It's Daddy in the FaceTime messing with my computer. I love him so freaking much. Anyway, the point is, nobody with any reputation wants to work with them at all anymore. Huge freaking problem. Now, the other issue is the flip-flopping. We're coming. We're not coming. Oh my God. But this has also affected Invictus because then Harry had the balls with a Z to, I'm so sorry about the F-bomb, you guys. So sorry. We'll move on. Harry had the balls with a Z to come out and basically say, this was my absolute favorite, that, the insinuation that terrorists will attack him and Meghan at Invictus or any Invictus things. Okay. First of all, number one, he put out his own report. I don't know if we can trust anything from Harry or Meghan right now. Do you know what I mean? They say what they want. It's Peter who cried wolf. Wolf, 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 wolf. And everyone's like, enough already. Unfortunately, when a wolf finally does appear, it's going to be like, ugh, there we go. But it's insane. They have this thing where Harry has been raised his entire life to believe just because he says something, everyone needs to believe him. And even if it's not true, but he deludes himself into thinking it is true. Now, meanwhile, he's coming up and saying, oh my God, oh, okay, there might be a terrorist attack. It's absolutely effing disgraceful, you guys, that he would say this. And let me tell you exactly why it's disgraceful, because he's going to need people to stand up on a stage with him. He's going to need warriors. He's going to need veterans to stand up. These people have PTSD. And yet he is then giving them PTSD because of this. A former officer of the British Army coming out and basically threatening a terrorist attack will happen and terrorizing the actual people he wants to help. Yeah, I don't know about you, but it's absolutely disgusting and it's insane. And he's doing it just for himself and Meghan. This is all a horrific ploy to kind of dig the knife in and get daddy to call up Ravik and say he needs full security, something that King Charles cannot do. This is not possible. King Charles has already said, I won't do it. It's not happening. I can't do it. Knock it off. And the government won't do it now because guess what? The public is not supportive. And that is what all this flip-flop BS was about. I'm coming. They had their poor, downtrodden PR guy, Liam McGuire, the guy who I used to loathe, but now I just feel bad for. The guy who would threaten me. I've got so many emails, you guys, threatening me. Oh my God, you're wrong. I'm going to sue you. Oh, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can't sue if something's true, bud. Also, BT Dubs, did you know the difference between UK and USA and their libel laws? You don't, turd bird. Now I'm feeling bad for him because, he drank the Kool-Aid and frankly, he's got bills to pay and he has to believe his bosses. That is what PR people do. However, at this point, I think he's banging his head against the wall and no Advil or Aleve is going to cure this. You know what I mean? This poor guy, he sends out the release. This is what exactly is happening. Yes, Meghan and the children are coming. Then Harry says, no, we're not because of this. We all know this, right? I've gotten many comments. Paula, you're wrong. I am not wrong. This is yet another chapter in the days of our soporific lives. This is what these guys, at this point, I think Harry's gone full method Montecito. They are full actors. They are dramatic. They love drama. They thrive on it, all in a way just to get their own way. It's insane. It's nuts. And this is why I have decided to mock up our People magazine. The Duke and Duchess of Entitlement. I was going to call it the Duke and Duchess of Drama. By the way, the difference between drama and drama is made up drama. However, I just wanted entitlement because this is who they are. They're just entitled fools. These poor fools. You know what? But they have to come. This is why. Number one, they need the reputation. Number two, the Diana doc, which, like it or not, is happening. They are bringing a film crew. They're doing a Diana remembering of her 30th anniversary of her death next year, which is also why Netflix is continuing to dribble some cash. No, they did not break up with the Sussexes 100% because they kept him on a first look basis so that they could get this. And the word is they are definitely doing this. The word is they want the children kneeling at the grave of Diana at Althorpe. This is disgusting. I mean, it's really gross. Like, if you could think of a tackier storyline, I don't know. It's almost as if it's the Real Housewives of Montecito and Harry and Meghan are the only characters. You know, flinging tables, throwing teacups full of tea. I want this. And then doing something horrifically dramatic like a Diana doc for next year. Now, listen, I've heard they're going to stay at Highgrove. Meghan will fly in for the private bits, although she was going to do all of the Invictus events. There is some question about that now. The children, of course, will not be seen publicly. I've heard Highgrove is the likeliest place. It's equidistance on a triangle between London and Birmingham. And of course, it's an estate, so the kids can walk around. They will have royal coverage. Yeah. It's insane. They also have to bring the kids because without the kids, King Charles ain't going to see them. Oh my God. I also have to call BS on another story. You know, the whole royal dinner where everyone got together and they talked about the problem of Harry, and William was supposedly part of it. No, he ain't. William does not care. William is done. He is out. He's like, we're good. Bye-bye. He ain't part of that. That's not true. And no, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to go anywhere near Harry. He has to protect his own darn family, including his wife, who is not in the clear for cancer. And I say this because everyone knows, anyone who knows anyone with cancer, no one's in the clear till 5 years after the last cancer has been detected. Okay? Not going to talk about Catherine's health. We shall move on. Catherine has moved on. Look at her climbing Twin Peaks in a regular outfit that she is not selling on the interwebs to prove that people who have had cancer and survived it can do great, interesting things. And then meeting up with people and then remembering the people she met along the way and honoring them. That's what a real princess, future queen does. Now, the only question I have, when they bring the kids and King Charles comes out, right, is Camilla going to be there? Because, I tend to think that Camilla will, because she wants to support Charles, who also is living with cancer. And this is so stressful, you guys. You have to understand how stressful this is. If this documentary is going about, which I am told it is, well, of course, Harry and Meghan are going to talk about his family in this doc. I mean, listen, they're stringing Charles up by the short and curlies at this point. It ain't nice. It ain't cool. It's hideous. Now, Charles is not going to let any filming take place with him or photos as we saw when they brought the kids back for the last time in 2022, there was a photo of Lily on the lawn looking up, and that's likely what will happen. We shall see if we see their faces. It's amazing. And yeah, I see your comments. Netflix is done. Yeah, no, they're not. Netflix wants that doc. Okay. So there is still the lifeline of first look deal. And BT Dubs, the reason why they would do the doc is they need the money, yo. They are desperate for cash. It's millions of years to keep their lifestyle going, and they're running out of it. And a Netflix doc of Diana would be minimum $5 million. Okay. So this is why I believe it's happening. These fools, my God, they are just ridiculous. And not just ridiculous. It's just so disgusting how cruel and manipulative they are. It's like, I can't with this. And Tom has done a very good, if you guys don't follow Tom's Substack, whether you love Tom or not, like I love him. He's right. It was cruel. It's self-serving and it's paranoid, and that they are cynical. All the words. Yes. And they literally, and how they've just humiliated their last most powerful advocate, Liam McGuire, their PR person. It's quite sad. Now, another great person who I think everyone should be following is Jackie Vause. I met with Jackie. She's great. And I met with her. She does When Pop Culture Meets PR. She does that on YouTube and on Substack. And it's pretty amazing that they are, she's just saying that the idea of the continuation of the status quo represents some sudden and dramatic development, a bolt from the blue that justifies upending plans. It's just ridiculous. This is all about these fools and what they want, and that how they've all said we can live a life of service, and service is universal. Remember that? Well, apparently they didn't mean service to anyone but themselves. This is the point that Jackie makes. They went on to do Netflix deals, Spotify deals, an Oprah interview, an autobiography. It's self-service. It's not about it. And this Invictus, it's about self-service for themselves, not about any veteran. It's ridiculous. They've been doing histrionics and security U-turns, all because they want their own security. They are literally using veterans to get what they want, when frankly, they already have security. Go stay at Highgrove. You get security, big guy. Yeah. And if you go out and you've given RAVAC time, they will tell you if you're going to get it. And if you don't, you've got your own private security. KK, we're good. It's just, it's ridiculous. Anyway, moving on to the Daily Mail. This is very interesting. The Daily Mail bit that's coming down on Tuesday. Now, I have heard people on the Daily Mail side are very confident they're going to win. I've heard from other people that they may lose on one bit about Harry claiming that Chelsea Davies' flight was blagged, that they got it through means. However, even during the trial, the reporter basically said, no, I don't know where that information came from. Someone gave it to me. Then there's no proof that anyone was actually paid. And in fact, the only winner out of this is going to be Harry's lawyer, David Sherborne. Now, David Sherborne has made millions off of the phone hacking cases stemming from years, okay? He will take cases pro bono, whatnot, and then gets a major cut of the winnings when he wins. The problem is if he doesn't win, there's still a lot of money to be paid. And who is on the hook for that? Can't be Harry. Harry don't have no money. Liz Hurley doesn't have any money. Baroness doesn't have any money. Elton John has the money. Now here's where it gets interesting. Sorry, I slurped. Jet lagged. Here's where it gets interesting. I am hearing from several people, oh, well, Harry and Meghan are in Europe. They're at the south of France at Elton's house, awaiting the verdict, having a grand old time at it. By the way, the kids are there with them. They're all on a family holiday in Europe. Some people say he's in Portugal at that supposed place that they supposedly had bought from Jack Brooksbank, right? Eugenie's husband. They don't own a place in Portugal. Those places start at $2 million. They don't have that money. They don't own a place in Portugal. They have not been to Portugal. They haven't been over in a very long time. All right. The whole thing about Harry and Meghan buying a place there is an old school PR marketing ploy. All right. Jack Brooksbank's job is to market that very expensive housing development and vacation development. All right. And that was a marketing ploy to just let it slip. Harry and Meghan now have a place in Portugal, right by Princess Eugenie. First of all, it ain't liable. There's no libel to say that they bought a place when they didn't buy a place. But I'm telling you, they didn't buy a damn place in Portugal. All right. Boom. So they are in Europe. Some people are saying it's with Elton. However, other people are saying there's a massive row now between Harry and Elton. Both sides are feeling wronged. Both sides are now saying, oh my God, you got me into this lawsuit. And they're blaming each other, whatnot. Here's the deal. I don't know. I did hear from good sources that they were with Elton, but then I'm hearing from another people that that Elton and Harry have a rift now. Either way, both fools them. Either way, like with Harry, something could change tomorrow because he will stamp his little feet, wave his little fists, and be like, no, this is what I want. I want this. And then he will go do it. Oh, God. I mean, honestly, watching Harry and Meghan reminds me of why I didn't have children. First of all, I can't stand a 2-year-old tantrum. Second of all, you can't be sure that those kids are going to take care of you when you get older. Look at it, Meghan with her father. I mean, that poor man, right? Look at Harry with his father. All he's done is cause himself grief. Thank God there's another brother, William. And thank God William was born first, hey? Because... geez, it's a mind blower. What if they were only children and that was your kid? No way. It's like I always said, you can't count on your kids. What if one of them turns out to be Jeffrey Dahmer? The Dahmers did not take into account that their son would turn out to be a cannibalist. No, they did not. Anyway, I digress. This is another reason why I never had children. But they are tantrum throwing, nasty little children. Saying one thing, doing another, putting people's livelihoods at risk. And by that, I mean anyone who was fool enough to go work for Invictus, who was fool enough to put their name to it, anyone who was fool enough to work for them. You look at poor Meredith Maines, their former PR person. She's lovely. She had a great reputation. Then she worked for them. And good on her. The second they pulled the BS at the Kardashian party, at the Sanchez Bezos house, where they said, we didn't sign check a box. Oh my God, we need the photos taken down. The second they did that, Meredith gave her notice. And poor Liam, I don't understand why he can't give us notice, except for he probably has bills to pay, and his reputation has been so horrifically ruined by working for them. Go with God, Liam. But here's what we can look forward to. We can look forward to a documentary. We can look forward to Meghan. She's the wild card. If they get really broke, don't think there won't be no book, okay? And this is a very tricky trip for King Charles. When they come, they are coming. Does he see them? Does he not see them? Does he see them with Camilla? Or does he simply have aides mingling around the room? So if something should get too touchy, all of a sudden the aides are like, sir, your next meeting, sir. Because that also happens, you know. He can't be alone with them. No one can, because of course recollections always vary. I don't know what the laws are for taping in London. I do in the States, all 50. However, there you go. I would love for somebody to break an NDA, by the way, and talk to me about these fools, because they're not nice. They're just not. I'm sure there's something I've forgotten to talk about. Again, let's be clear, jet lagged. And I've got a dog sleeping at my feet. Speaking of which, we've now come to the portion of the Daily Doug. Deep Thoughts with Doug. And I have to be honest with you. Right now, Doug has no deep thoughts except for one word, mother. I always like to tell people that I raise my dogs in the Norman Bates method, that there's only mother. My last dog before Doug was a guy named Carl, and Carl was full Norman Bates. I used to wake up at 2 a.m. and I'd be like, what's going on? And I'd look and he'd just be sitting there staring at me. And I was like, oh, he wants to stuff me and put me in a rocker so I don't leave ever. Doug is getting there. And so therefore, I shall bring you, I already put this up, but I have to show you again. This is Doug welcoming my little wavering butt home after I'd left him for a week. Is there a baby in the house? Oh my God. Hi. 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 Oh, I missed you. Oh, I missed you so much. I missed you. You are the baby. You are the baby. And a camera boop. Come on. How great is that kid? I love him so much. And I did see in the comments while I was watching, didn't Harry buy insurance? Who knows? He didn't buy insurance for the Invictus warrior like Scott Snow, who got hurt in the Dusseldorf games and is now thousands of pounds in the hole and can't afford to have rehab, can he? Because Canada paid for his back and neck surgery, but didn't pay for the rehab. By the way, the GoFundMe is live. Thank you all. Anyone who has contributed to Scott Snow, I appreciate you. And Scott appreciates you. And yeah, so who knows? If I know that the government will likely have insurance, and if the Invictus Games have to be pulled, it'll be insurance, it'll be a write-off. But here we go. This is so exciting, this trip. It's going to be an amazing week. Again, the Daily Mail will be put down. And, you know, Harry had 14 claims against the Daily Mail. 14. All of which were disproven. He's now being called a complete liar. And because of all the stuff, I never met Charlotte Griffiths, who he, you know, of course he met. Not only did he meet, but they were friendly. And, you know, it's weird. It's weird to have to deal with a guy who, for once in his life, when he says something, he's not protected anymore and people can call you out. You know, it's what happens when you leave the palace walls. There are pros and cons. The pros was he got about a year or two living like a king in Montecito until he and Meghan's personality flipped everyone off and they all ran screaming. The cons are, well, look at this, isn't it? All right, you guys, like, subscribe, hype, whatever. I adore you. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for putting up with, once again, well, daddy calling. I can't help that. I really can't. I don't know how to get it off my computer, but also putting up with the microphone and whatnot. I really adore you and I appreciate you. I will see you later this week. And of course, I'll fill you in on the updates from the Daily Mail. Okay, bye.